Day one in the books here at the Better Darwin Triple Crown at Hidden Valley Raceway. Provisional qualifying for race 11 done and dusted. Still a little bit of work to do before we set the grid for tomorrow's race, but the man in the middle is on provisional pole. James Golding, well done today. You guys have been quick all day in practice P2 and a very close session, and then top of the pops here in the afternoon provisional qualifying. Have you been surprised at all by the speed that you guys have had today?
Yeah, certainly a little bit surprised. Obviously, the last couple of rounds we've struggled a bit. But yeah, this morning, rolled out of the truck pretty comfortable. We made a few tweaks to the car, nothing major, just to get it in the window. And yeah, rolling out the first set in qualifying, then I knew we were on for a good result. And yeah, it was a pleasure to drive. Just really comfortable to push it on the limit without making mistakes. So yeah, thanks to the whole team for all their hard work. You know, the last couple of years has been pretty tough, so yeah, credit to them.
Yeah, you mentioned with this team, it seemed to be progressing step by step and showing these glimpses of speed. It's safe to say that it's starting to emerge as program Premier Newline Racing and getting up to the front more often?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's baby steps. You know, we'll tick off each box as we get to it, but yeah, it's a great step in the right direction. Obviously, there's a long way to go this weekend with racing, but you know, we've got a fast car on one lap, and we can now focus tonight on building a good race car for the rest of the weekend.
And that was going to lead into my next question. Is we've seen these flashes of speed from the team over the past couple of years in particular, but the race results haven't always translated. What do you guys need to be able to find that result on race day and be up here in these presses and on the top three and on the podium?
Yeah, I think it's definitely consistency for us. You know, we've had strong results in both qualifying and racing. We haven't strung enough together, both qualifying and racing on the same day, to really get that good result. So, yeah, you know, we'll do our best. Obviously, we're still improving, so we've just got to try and put it all together on the day.
And going out for the shootout later tomorrow morning, the last man out, how's that sort of feeling? You were second last out about this last year, but now it's all on your shoulders to go stick it on pole. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. You know, knowing you got a fast car is definitely a help. We can really just focus on enjoying the lap out there. You know, Darwin's a fantastic event. There's obviously a lot of people, so really just try and enjoy the lap, and wherever we'll start is where we'll start.
Awesome. Very well done. I'll go over to the man on your left, Nick Percat. Back up in the top three and back up at the front of the field. I think this has got to be a really relieving.
It's Will Brown. Look at him.
That'll be a really relieving result for you guys today to be showing you speed and being back up here towards the front of the field.
Yeah, it's great. The MSR car and the whole team's been amazing all year. The spacer between the seat and the steering wheel's made a few mistakes the last couple of rounds, so it's probably hasn't really shown the speed we've had. So it was nice to, I came up here early, had a bit of a reset, and yeah, it's nice to roll out the truck well. We had a good test day recently as well, so that was nice to kind of validate a few things with the way MSR go about it. So yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself for the last couple of rounds of how that went, because I think we could be, you know, comfortably, you know, probably close to the top three of the championship. But it's the car's been mega since day one, so it's nice to reward them with a good little result here on Friday.
It was a bit of a mixed order today. Lots of people all over the place, but also very, very tight margins. You know, is there anything you guys can take away? Is there any sort of form guide from today? Is it still too early to tell who's where here?
I think these two are consistent up the front both sessions. It is actually crazy tight. You know, we couldn't decide if we're going to use 2 sets or 3 sets of tyres then, because you weren't sure if you needed that, you know, last half a tenth to try and get in, and if it was better to try and keep building on that. But yeah, it's amazing how the competition is now with Gen 3, and obviously the two cars seem like they're the closest they've ever been at any stage of supercars. So just to be in the 10 was, felt like you're doing the best lap of your life at any track. So yeah, it is very satisfying, I think, from the driver's side and from the teams, because there's not as much stuff they can play with now. So, you know, when you do get the car spot on in the window, I think it's quite rewarding for, you know, everyone involved.
And just looking a bit from a broader perspective, a bit of a different format tweaked for this event, obviously involving with the Triple Crown, but just give us your thoughts on your qualifying today. It gives a little bit of incentive, something to play for on a Friday. What do you think of the way that this weekend plays out?
I don't mind it, only because I think I normally go half alright in like practice 2 and then absolutely spray it in qualifying the next morning. So I didn't mind. It's different. You know, obviously a few of us have been around a while, and it's always the same kind of thing. So it's nice to mix it up, and I guess it puts a bit more emphasis on making sure you do your preparation well from the driver's side and the team's side, and the car rolls out well. There's no finger trouble from the workshop when they're building it and stuff like that. Everything the attention to detail has to be extremely high. So I don't mind the added pressure and, trying to make sure the boys have got a little bit more OCD on the cars to make sure they do roll out well, because it does set up your whole weekend. Even if that was final practice and you're down in 22nd, you have to drag yourself out of it. It's really hard. I don't mind if it's practice 2 or qualifying. They both kind of spice it up.
Very good. Looking over to the man on the other side of the table, Mark Winterbottom. We were talking yesterday. Obviously a winner here last year. It seems like you guys have a bit of a finger on the pulse around this place. Probably a good start to the weekend.
Yeah, it's been good. Rolled out of the truck really quick. It was really, really quick. So when you're in a window, you can just tinker away. It's when you're out of the window, it's the guys and girls work their backsides off and you achieve nothing. And then when you're in a window, it's small changes, big results. So we got through a good program. And then Dave, I've been trying to copy his car from practice. He copied my car and got in the 10. So both cars correlating really well. And I think we can still make it better. But the windows or the competition's so tight. I think he had a bit of a gap, and then the rest are quite close. So you got to do a lap to get you in the 10, a really good lap to make sure you get there but not make a mistake because you're out. So it's like have a good car that's predictable and easy to do the lap, but then to go fast, sometimes you've got to hang it out there and push past the limits, but then you obviously risk getting out. So all those things coming together. So my car's quite easy to drive at the moment, which is good. But to go faster, you need to lean on it a bit more, which could be a mistake or could be fast, So always something left in the tank, I'm sure.
You're talking about how you and Dave running similar setups, both cars, I believe, in the shootout. It looks like the team has been a bit on and off at some events across the year so far. But do you think you guys are starting to hone in on being in that window more regularly?
It's hard. Like, we come from Perth and we're struggling, and then look at all 3 cars here. They weren't pole sitters at Perth, and something about this place rewards a car a certain way. So you never get carried away in this sport. I think won here last year and went to Tail and Bend and qualified on the back row, and I think you were probably just next to me and you were not far away maybe. So you never get carried away, but then you got to go race by race because it's a month gap. When you're going well, you got to appreciate it, work out why and replicate, and when you're going struggling, you got to work out why and try and fix it. So it's not by any means fixed, the recipe or the formula, but you got to milk it while it's there, and when the car's fast, you've got to get results because it's not like this every weekend and everyone's in the same boat. So tomorrow's going to be a good day, and we're all going to be battling for the lead, and the top 10 shootout's still got to play out. We could be 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th if it doesn't go well, or still a lot to go. So it's always tight, but by no means it's fixed. So we'll see how we go.
We're hitting that middle swing of the year, and you talked about the work that you and Dave are having together, being back teammates again. How's that relationship going for you guys, and how's that going, affecting and influencing the rest of the team on trying to build up to being up here more regularly?
Yeah, Dave's good, and we've worked together a long time, so we know what each other like, and there's no ego, no drama. If his car's good, it's an open book. If my car's good, open book. Test days, there's definitely no secretive stuff, and that's, although we all say it doesn't work out that way every time. So he's good, and engineers get along, and it's a really good group. So we've had hard rounds, and that's normally when you expose anger and all that sort of side, but they're working hard to make sure we get this team up the front, and it's enjoyable. Dave's a great guy to race with, and good to see him in the 10, and he'll just keep getting better now because once he gets a taste of that car, he learns how to drive it, and he'll get faster and faster. So good to see him in the 10.
Very nice. We'll open it up to the journalists in the room. Looks like Andrew has the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, they gave it to me, so I've got to ask the question. James, what have you done differently since Perth, aside from the test day? Is there anything inside the team that's changed?
I don't want to give away too many secrets. Everyone's here listening. But nah, look, to be honest, the test day was pretty good for us. I think just to not necessarily find anything amazing in the car, but just clarify a few things that we've been running that we probably weren't really sure about. What it was meant to do on paper versus what it actually did to the car. So I think a bit of clarity there and just a bit more consistency, and probably just, I think, taking it baby steps at a time during the sessions, trying to just inch it to where you want it to be rather than trying to make it the world's best car, which kind of you're never really going to achieve in one change. So yeah, it's probably just a little bit of tidying up here and there, I think. We've obviously seen glimpses of pace, as we said before, through qualifying and racing. So we know we've sort of been getting closer and closer. But obviously it just took about getting it all right on the day. And that's what we did today, so pretty pleased.
And it's been a pretty tough start to the year for your team. I mean, they're pretty happy up there now. I mean, what does that mean?
I reckon we should not worry about the shootout and just start from pole. That's what I reckon. But it's amazing to see all the smiles on everyone's faces. It shows all the hard work they've put in behind the scenes, especially Peter. You know, he's put his heart and soul into this and trusts me and all the other guys in the team. So yeah, it's an amazing achievement. It's great to be a part of, and I can't thank him and the team enough for it.
And your first fast lap, I understand you weren't meant to actually complete it, but the dashboard looked too good to stop.
Yeah, we spoke about it before the session actually, and we planned to run the first set but not complete the lap, so just do an out past in to get the lap in, but it wouldn't count. Get a good feel for it for the next set, and I said over the radio, it's pretty good, should I keep going? And Robbie said, yeah, stay up it, so we pressed on with it. And then we were happy enough with that lap to hold out from running a second set. And then by the last one, obviously being the fastest car, I could just go out and send it and hope it sticked, and it did, so we got a little bit more out of it.
And that's it, I'm done. But good to see you too.
Others in the room there? I'll jump on one here for a minute. Chaz mentioned he was down the back, mentioned they had some concerns about the super soft tires. So I guess just in their relative pace compared to everyone else, I guess, Jimmy, I'm going to guess you felt pretty good about it. Has there been any sort of things that you guys noticed with the heat or the conditions out here that anything indicative?
Nah, not really. I think tyres recently have been pretty consistent for us across the test day and since we got here. So yeah, no issues there.
Looking forward for a race tomorrow. What do we think? I guess, Nick, from a race perspective, looking for Dag in these conditions, and of course, 48-lap race, one pit stop. What's sort of the approach to? You're starting in the top 10, but what's going to be? How do you guys feel that race is going to go across race conditions with strategy?
I think anytime you're at the front, you get a bit more clear air or like cleaner air onto the front of the car. It looks after the tyre better naturally. Obviously sitting in the press conference now, you're like, awesome, I don't care if the race is 10 laps or 100 laps. The car's obviously very good, and like we've touched on, it's like Chaz down the 20s. It just shows how tight this competition is because they dominated Perth effectively. So you can never get complacent with where you're at, and I think the race tomorrow is about clean air. I kind of wish it was the old format where we did 2 pit stops, like an actual long race, and had a bit more strategy involved there with the team, but I'm excited that it's longer than last year and it's heading the right direction. So I think it's just clean air wins the race generally around here.
Alrighty, thank you very much, guys. Well done, and we'll see you tomorrow.